Tonight's story is something nobody saw coming. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and the entire hip-hop world is buzzing because Hailie Jade's fiancé has finally broken his silence about the moment. He stood face to face with one of the most intimidating fathers on the planet, Eminem. And according to him, what went down behind those closed doors was nothing like the picture-perfect family moment fans imagined. In fact, it was tense, awkward, low-key, terrifying, and almost ended in disaster. He says he walked into the room with a ring in his pocket, a speech prepared, and his heart beating louder than a bass-boosted Detroit mixtape. But what he didn't expect was the energy M came with, the questions he wasn't ready for, and the one comment from the rap legend that nearly made him walk out without ever proposing. And now, for the first time, he's revealing word for word what Eminem said, how Hailie reacted, and why the family was left divided after the conversation. This is the side of Eminem the world rarely sees. This is the moment that changed everything. And trust me, you're not ready for the real story behind that proposal. The story didn't start with a ring. It didn't start with romance, and it definitely didn't start with the fairy tale vibe fans love to imagine. Whenever Hailie Jade pops up online with her spotless Instagram aesthetic and picture-perfect happiness, no. According to her fiancé, the real story started months before the proposal, long before he ever stood in front of Eminem. And it all began with one unexpected moment that shook their whole relationship. He said it was late, almost 1 a.m. when he realized he couldn't sleep. Hailie was already dozing off beside him, wrapped in her hoodie, looking peaceful, unaware of the storm brewing in his chest. He stared at the ceiling, replaying months of memories, moments, arguments, laughter, and all the things he felt he still wasn't ready for. And in that moment, he whispered to himself, if I'm gonna do this, I gotta do it right. I gotta ask him. But saying it out loud didn't make it any easier. In fact, the second he said the name Eminem, his heartbeat doubled. Because it wasn't like asking any regular dad. This wasn't some suburban backyard BBQ moment like in a sitcom. This was Eminem. The man who made grown rappers cry in the booth. The man who dissed entire industries without blinking. The man who protected his daughter like she was the last good thing left in his world. Asking him for permission wasn't just a tradition. It was a mission few would survive. The next morning, he told Hailie something was bothering him. She sat up immediately, brushing her hair out of her face, eyes wide with concern. What's wrong? Did something happen? He hesitated. I think I need to talk to your dad. Her expression changed instantly. Fear mixed with worry, mixed with that tiny spark of, oh no, not this. About what? She asked, though deep down she already knew. He swallowed hard. Everything. Hailie stared at him for a moment that felt like an hour. Then she sighed and sat back against the pillows. That's a big step, she whispered. Are you sure you're ready for that conversation? With him. He nodded, but even she could see the uncertainty behind it. That entire week was tense. Fans noticed Hailie wasn't posting as much. He wasn't either. And insiders close to the couple said they could feel something heavy in the air, not a breakup, but a shift. Something major. Something life-changing. According to him, the real turning point happened during a family dinner. It was the first time in months everyone sat together. Hailie, her fiancé, Alina, Whitney, and even Uncle Nathan. It was supposed to be casual, chill, nothing deep. But halfway through the meal, a comment slipped out that changed the whole energy. Alina looked at him and said, "You've been acting weird lately, like you're hiding something." He froze. Hailie froze. Even the forks stopped clinking. Whitney leaned forward. "Yeah, what's going on?" He tried to brush it off. "It's nothing. Just work stress." Nathan smirked. "Right, and I'm the new pope." Everyone laughed except him and Hailie. She nudged him under the table, whispering, "Just be honest." He took a deep breath. "I'm thinking about talking to your dad." The room went silent, completely silent. Alina looked at Hailie like, "Oh wow, this is actually happening." Whitney's eyes widened. Nathan just leaned back and muttered, "Damn." Then Alina asked the question nobody wanted to say out loud. "Are you sure you want to do that? You know how he gets..." And that's when Hailie's fiancé realized something. Even they were scared of how Eminem might react. Even his own family didn't know what version of him he'd get. Chill dad. Protective dad. Rap god level intimidating dad. For days after that dinner, he practiced what he'd say. He wrote out speeches on his phone, deleted them, rewrote them, Googled how to ask a famous father for permission, watched YouTube videos, practiced in the mirror, practiced while driving, practiced until even he hated his own voice. But nothing prepared him for the moment he finally stood outside the door of Eminem's Detroit home. He said the air felt cold, even though it was summer. His palms were sweating. The ring box in his pocket felt like a brick. And for a moment, he thought about turning around, pretending he got lost, pretending his GPS broke, pretending anything except the truth, that he was about to ask one of the most feared artists in the world for his daughter's hand. Before he knocked, he texted Hailie, "I'm here." She replied instantly, "Don't overthink it. Just be yourself." He stared at that message for a long time, because the last thing he wanted was to be the wrong version of himself in front of Eminem. Then the door opened, and no, Eminem didn't smile. He didn't say hello, he didn't even step aside. He just looked at him with that trademark expression, the one every rap fan knows, blank, unreadable, dangerous. For a second, he forgot how to breathe. Eminem finally spoke. "You wanted to talk to me." His voice was low, calm, too calm. He nodded. Yes, sir." Eminem raised an eyebrow. "Sir, don't call me that. Makes me feel old." He laughed nervously. Eminem didn't. He stepped inside. The house was quiet, too quiet. No music. No TV. Just the sound of his own heartbeat and the faint echo of Eminem's footsteps leading him to the living room. "Sit," Eminem said. He sat. Eminem didn't sit. He stood there looking at him like he was reading his mind, his past, his intentions, his entire existence. "So," Eminem asked, "what's this about?" And in that moment, the moment that would change the next year of all their lives, he felt his throat tighten. His planned speech evaporated. Every line he memorized disappeared. All he managed to say was, "It's about Hailie." Eminem didn't blink. What about her? And that was the moment everything began spiraling into the drama fans would hear about months later. The arguments, the emotional tension, the misunderstandings, the family whispers, and the confession that nearly ended the proposal before it even started. Because the truth was, Eminem wasn't prepared for what he was. Eminem wasn't prepared for what he was about to hear, and neither was he. But what happened next? That's where the story gets explosive. The air in the room was thick, like Detroit. Summer humidity trapped inside a tiny box. He could feel it pressing on him as he tried to steady his racing heart. He'd rehearsed this moment 100 times, imagined it 1,000 more. But nothing could prepare him for Emin's presence in real life, calm, quiet, unforgiving, protective. The kind of man would stare into your soul without a single word. "Talk to me," Em said, his eyes never leaving him. He swallowed, "Sir. I love Hailie, and I want to marry her." The silence that followed wasn't the normal pause of conversation. This was a pause loaded with tension, thick enough to cut with a knife. Eminem crossed his arms, leaned against the wall, and let the words hang. Then he said the thing that almost made him take the ring out of his pocket and run straight out of the door. "And you think you're ready for that?" Eminem asked, voice low, measured, dangerous. "You think you can handle her? Her family? Me?" The question wasn't just a question. It was a test, and he knew it. He took a deep breath. I know it won't be easy. But I love her. I'm ready for whatever comes." Eminem tilted his head. "Love, that's not enough. Love doesn't protect her from the world. Love doesn't protect her from people like me. You think you've been through tough moments? Try raising a kid in my world, under my eyes, knowing what I've seen, knowing what I've lost. He nodded, understanding the weight behind every word. He wasn't just asking permission to marry Hailie. He was stepping into a world that had scars, secrets, and expectations no outsider could ever truly grasp. "You got a job?" Eminem asked suddenly, cutting through the tension like a knife. "A real job? A stable job?" "Yes, sir," he replied. "I'm working full-time. I have a plan. I'm responsible." Eminem raised an eyebrow. "Responsible?" Responsibility is the first word you forget when emotions take over. "You ready to put her first?" "Always, even when it's inconvenient. Even when it hurts. Because she tests you, she push, and sometimes she'll hate you for it. You ready for that?" He swallowed again. I'm ready to fight for her, no matter what." For a moment, the room went quiet again. He could feel Eminem's gaze weighing on him, scanning him, judging him, measuring him. Every second felt like an eternity. Every heartbeat was deafening. Then Eminem stepped closer. His voice softened just slightly, just enough to throw him off balance. "I've seen a lot of guys try and fail," Em said. "A lot of guys who thought love was enough. It isn't. You're asking permission. That's cute, but you gotta prove it. Not to me, not to anyone else. To her. She'll know if you're real. She'll know if you're lying. She'll know if you're in it for the ring, the social media, the attention. You ready for that?" "Yes, sir. I swear," he said, his voice trembling slightly. "I love her for her. Only her." Eminem stared at him a long time, then finally nodded. Not a smile. Not approval. Just a nod that felt like both a warning and a blessing. "You've got guts," Em said. "I'll give you that, but guts won't carry you through the real stuff. You ready for the drama that comes with being part of this family?" He paused and then, feeling the weight of every word, said, "Yes, I'm ready." At that moment, Hailie appeared behind Eminem, having quietly watched the entire interaction unfold. Her eyes were wide. She didn't say a word, but the look on her face told him everything he needed to know. She was proud, she was nervous, and she was terrified for him. Or maybe terrified for herself. Eminem finally sat down, leaning forward, hands clasped. "All right, I'm going to give you a chance. But remember this, nothing is guaranteed. You screw this up and it won't just hurt you. It'll hurt her. And I'll be watching." He nodded. "I understand, sir." Eminem smirked slightly, just enough to break the tension, but not enough to relax it. "Okay, so, you want to propose?" He froze. Was he really about to do this? After months of planning, rehearsing, losing sleep over it, months of stress and anxiety, he was finally here. But standing in front of Eminem made him realize just how high the stakes were. "Yes," he said finally, "I do. I want to ask her to marry me." Eminem's smirk grew. "Good, then do it. But don't half-step. Don't falter. Don't make this about you. Make it about her. Make it honest. Make it real." Hailie stepped forward then, nervously smiling. "Are you really doing this right now?" She whispered. "Yes," he said. "I'm doing this now." Fans might think the next moment was a fairy tale. The proposal, the tears, the ring, the perfect reaction. But insiders say what happened next was chaotic, emotional, and nearly derailed everything. According to him, Hailie started crying. But not out of happiness. She cried because the weight of her father's approval or disapproval was crushing. "I can't do this," she whispered, almost panicked. I don't want to hurt you or him." He held her hand, trying to steady her. "You're not hurting anyone. I love you. I'm here. I want this." Eminem watched silently, arms crossed. His expression was unreadable. Then he said something that shocked him. "You're both acting like this is easy. It's not. Life isn't easy. Love isn't easy. Family isn't easy. And being me, that's the hardest of all." He nodded, swallowing hard. The words felt like a warning, like a test, like a challenge. But he didn't back down. Then Hailie's fiancé got down on one knee. The words he had rehearsed for months rushed out. "Hailie Jade, you're the most important person in my life. I love you more than anything, and I want to spend my life proving it to you. Will you marry me?" The ring box felt heavier than ever. Her hands were shaking. The room was silent except for the faint hum of the city outside. And then she said yes. But the celebration wasn't simple. According to insiders, Eminem didn't clap or smile. He just nodded, leaned back, and muttered, "Good. Don't mess it up." He said later it was the moment of pure relief, but also the beginning of something much more complicated. Because winning Eminem's approval didn't mean the drama was over. If anything, it had just begun. Friends close to the couple said the news traveled fast. Fans were shocked when Hailie posted a photo of the ring on her hand. M's fans immediately started speculating. Was he happy? Was he angry? Was this engagement going to end in disaster or fairy tale perfection? According to family insiders, emotions ran high. Some family members were thrilled. Others were skeptical. And for him, the tension didn't end until he could prove to everyone, especially Eminem, that he was worthy of Hailie's love. And that's where the twist started. Because what nobody knew yet, not even Hailie, was that a secret from her past, a feud buried deep in Detroit rap history, and a shocking confession from someone in the family would all come back to test their relationship in ways he never imagined. Fans wouldn't hear the whole story for months, but the drama, heartbreak, and chaos had already begun behind the scenes. The proposal was supposed to be the pinnacle of their love story, the moment that fans imagined would be all roses, laughter, and Instagram-worthy joy. But behind closed doors, things weren't as perfect as they seemed. According to insiders close to Hailie and her fiancé, the engagement was the calm before a storm that nobody expected. It all started a few days after the proposal. He thought they'd have time to celebrate privately, but the news had spread like wildfire. Friends, family, and even distant acquaintances were calling and texting, and every conversation seemed to carry tension. One evening, Hailie's cousin, who had always been a little skeptical of outsiders, pulled him aside. "You think you know what you're getting into?" she asked, her tone sharp, almost accusing. "You really think marrying into this family is simple?" He laughed nervously. "I love Hailie. I'm ready for whatever comes." Her eyes narrowed. "You don't understand. It's not just the fame, the attention, or her dad. There are things you don't know. Things she hasn't told you." That was when he realized that marrying Hailie wasn't just about love. It was about navigating a labyrinth of family secrets, old rivalries, and unspoken rules. The next day, the first real crack appeared. Hailie confided in him that a family secret, one she had buried for years, was now threatening to surface. "It's about my mother," she whispered, her eyes brimming with tears. "There are things you need to know before we take this further." He took her hands. "Whatever it is, we'll face it together." But when the secret finally came out, it shocked him to his core. According to Hailie, her mother had been involved in a long-standing dispute with someone in Eminem's inner circle. The feud had never fully been resolved, and it was now spilling into their lives in ways he could never have imagined. "You don't understand," Hailie said, her voice shaking. "It's more than history. It's about loyalty, reputation, and it's all coming to the surface now." He nodded, though inside panic began to bubble. He realized that asking Eminem for permission had been only the first challenge. The next would be surviving the layers of drama that surrounded Hailie's family. And then, the betrayal. It wasn't long before he discovered that someone close to Hailie had leaked private details about their engagement to the press. Fans were bombarded with speculation, and social media was ablaze with rumors. Some said the fiancé had ulterior motives. Others claimed the proposal was a publicity stunt. The accusations stung, but what hurt the most was knowing it had come from someone Hailie trusted. He confronted her about it. "Who would do this?" he asked, his voice rising with frustration. Hailie looked torn, almost guilty. I don't know. I can't believe it either. But I promise I had nothing to do with it." Emotions ran high that night. Arguments flared, tears fell, and the room seemed smaller than ever. He wanted to protect her, but at the same time, he was furious that someone could undermine their moment. The family was divided. Some supported him, others silently questioned his intentions. Then came the shocking confession that nobody saw coming. One evening, Eminem himself pulled him aside. "You've been handling things well so far," Em said, voice low, almost approving. "But there's something you need to know. Something that could change everything." He felt a chill. "What is it?" I paused. "Hailie's engagement isn't just about her. It's about loyalty, history, and family politics. There's someone out there who might not accept this. Someone who could make things difficult." "What do you mean?" he asked, heart pounding. Eminem's expression hardened. "There's an old feud, a grudge that's been simmering for years. And now it's back. Keep your eyes open. Trust no one blindly. If you truly love her, you'll be ready for anything." He nodded, trying to process the weight of the warning. It felt like stepping into a battlefield with no map. The next twist came from Hailie herself, in a late-night conversation that left both of them in tears. She revealed that someone she thought was a friend had betrayed her. "I trusted them," she said, voice trembling. "And now I don't know if I can trust anyone." He held her close, whispering, "We'll get through this together." Well, the drama didn't stop there. Rumors spread online that the engagement was already strained, that Hailie had second thoughts, that he wasn't ready for the intensity of her family. Fans were shocked. Messages poured in, and the couple felt the weight of public scrutiny on top of the private chaos. At one point, Hailie's sister even confronted him. "You need to understand," she said sharply. "This family doesn't just accept anyone. You need to prove you're worthy and fast." He nodded, knowing that love alone wouldn't be enough. He needed patience, courage, and a thick skin. He needed to navigate secrets, betrayal, and family politics, all while maintaining the trust of the woman he loved. And just when he thought things couldn't get more complicated, a mysterious figure appeared. According to insiders, someone from Eminem's past came forward with warnings. The person claimed that the fiancé needed to be careful that not everyone in Detroit would be happy about Hailie's engagement. "Why now?" he asked, bewildered. "Because history has a way of repeating itself." The figure replied, "And some wounds never fully heal." Emotions ran higher than ever. Arguments flared. Tears fell. The engagement that should have been a celebration was now clouded with tension, secrets, and fear. Through it all, he remained determined. Every challenge, every betrayal, every unexpected twist only strengthened his resolve. He knew that love alone wouldn't be enough. He needed resilience, courage, and an unwavering commitment to Hailie. And despite the chaos, Hailie never wavered. According to him, she was his anchor, the one constant in a sea of uncertainty. Her strength inspired him to keep going, to face every challenge head-on, and to prove himself worthy not just to Eminem, but to the entire family. By the end of part 3, the couple had survived the first wave of drama. But insiders hinted that the most shocking revelations were still to come. Betrayals, secrets, and emotional confrontations were on the horizon, and fans were about to witness a side of Hailie, her fiancé, and Eminem that nobody expected. The engagement had become more than just a love story. It was a test of loyalty, courage, and resilience, a roller coaster of emotions that would keep fans talking for months. The weeks following the proposal were intense, to say the least. According to insiders, the couple faced constant scrutiny from fans, family, and even friends who couldn't resist speculating about the drama. Every social media post, every interview, every subtle comment from Hailie or her fiancé was dissected by thousands of eyes, and with Eminem's protective aura looming over them. The stakes couldn't have been higher. One night after another long, emotionally charged family dinner, he admitted something he hadn't told anyone before. "I didn't just ask Hailie to marry me," he confessed. "I asked her father for permission, and I wasn't sure I'd get it. I honestly thought I might walk out that night without ever proposing." Hailie squeezed his hand, tears in her eyes. "And yet you stayed," she whispered. "You faced him, that's what matters." That moment, small as it seemed, was a turning point. Slowly, the tension that had gripped the family began to ease, while Eminem remained cautiously protective. He reportedly started warming up to the fiancé, testing him with lighthearted jokes and challenging questions instead of intense interrogations. "Don't think I've let you off the hook," Em joked one evening, leaning back in his chair, arms crossed but a faint smile tugging at his lips. "You still have to prove yourself every day." The fiancé laughed nervously. "I'll do my best, sir." Meanwhile, Hailie's other family members began to accept him too. Elena, who had been skeptical from the beginning, admitted in a candid conversation that she could see his genuine love and dedication. "I wasn't sure at first," she said, "but you've proven yourself. You're serious, and that counts for a lot in this family." Yet the drama wasn't completely over. According to him, some old friends of Eminem weren't thrilled about the engagement. Rumors started circulating about disputes in Detroit circles about loyalties being tested, and whispers that the engagement could bring old grudges to the surface. "It felt like walking through a minefield," he said. "Every step had to be careful. Every word measured. One wrong move could set off a storm." Hailie, always supportive but worried, reminded him constantly, "We're in this together. Whatever comes, we face it as a team." The couple also had to navigate fan reactions. Social media was brutal, with some fans questioning whether he was good enough for Hailie, whether the engagement was genuine, or whether it was a publicity stunt. He admitted that reading some of the comments hurt. "You want people to see the love, not the drama," he said. "But that's part of being in the public eye. We just had to ignore it and focus on each other." One particularly tense day, an unexpected twist occurred. Someone close to the family reached out privately with new information that threatened to shake things up. According to the insider, Hailie's ex-boyfriend, a figure from years ago who had been quietly watching from the sidelines, resurfaced with claims meant to intimidate and unsettle the fiancé. "I wasn't prepared for that," he admitted. "It was like stepping back into high school drama, but with way higher stakes. I had to stand my ground, not just for me, but for Hailie." The confrontation was intense. It involved accusations, emotional outbursts, and even a heated argument where voices were raised. But ultimately, Hailie's fiancé stayed calm, grounded by his commitment to Hailie and the life they wanted to build together. Eminem reportedly observed much of the chaos from a distance, offering advice only when necessary, sometimes delivering a one-line comment that carried more weight than pages of explanation. "Remember," he told the fiancé one night, "it's not about winning fights, it's about keeping her safe and happy. That's your job. Everything else? Just noise." Gradually, the family started seeing him as part of the unit, not just an outsider trying to fit in. Hailie, always the bridge between worlds, worked tirelessly to ease tensions, mediate conflicts, and ensure that love remained at the center of the story. And then came the moment fans had been waiting for, the official engagement announcement. Hailie posted a photo of her ring, a candid smile lighting up her face, with a caption that simply read, "Forever starts now." Fans erupted in celebration, some shocked at how heartfelt it all looked. Others relieved that the drama seemed to have a happy ending. But according to insiders, the engagement was just the beginning. He said, even after the proposal, "Every day has challenges. Every day is about proving that love isn't just a word, it's action, commitment, and resilience." Behind the scenes, the couple continued to face tests. There were disagreements, minor conflicts, and moments of doubt. But with each challenge, their bond strengthened. Hailie's fiancé described the process as transformative. "I learned more about patience, empathy, and love in those months than I ever thought possible," he said. Eminem's role remained critical. Though protective, the rapper's occasional words of wisdom helped them navigate tricky situations. One night, he pulled the couple aside and said something that would stick with them forever. "Life's messy. Love's messy. Family's messy. But if you can survive that, if you can survive us, then you've got something real. Don't take it for granted." Those words, heavy with truth, resonated deeply. They reminded him that being part of Hailie's life wasn't just about romance. It was about loyalty, resilience, and proving himself every single day. Fans now see a perfect image, two people deeply in love, smiling, engaged, and ready for their future. But insiders know the truth. The journey was far from easy. From the nerve-wracking moment of asking Eminem for permission to the dramatic waves of betrayal, secrets, and emotional confrontations, the engagement tested them in ways most people will never understand. As Hailie's fiancé reflected on the experience, he shared a final thought. As much as it was terrifying, every moment was worth it. I wouldn't trade the challenges for anything because they made our love stronger. And knowing Eminem trusts me enough to be part of Hailie's life, that's priceless. And while the public may only see the shiny ring and the Instagram posts, the real story is one of perseverance, courage, and emotional resilience. It's about facing fears, overcoming obstacles, and proving that love is more than a word. It's a commitment tested by fire. So, what's the takeaway from this whirlwind saga? Hailie Jade's engagement wasn't just a romantic milestone. It was a test of loyalty, resilience, and courage. From the first terrifying moment her fiancé stood in front of Eminem to the emotional roller coaster of family secrets, betrayals, and public scrutiny, the journey has been anything but ordinary. Fans are still shocked by the intensity behind closed doors, and emotions ran high every step of the way. The family may have started divided, and drama may have threatened to derail the engagement. But in the end, love and determination won. Hailie and her fiancé faced every challenge together, proving that real relationships are built not just on romance, but on trust, communication, and unwavering commitment. Eminem's cautious approval, the tense conversations, and even the unexpected betrayals all played a part in shaping their story into the emotional, dramatic saga that fans are now obsessed with. Now, the question remains, what's next for the couple? Will more surprises and challenges await them as they plan their future together? How will they continue to navigate the spotlight, the family drama, and the pressures of fame? You, the viewer, get to weigh in. Comment below with your thoughts on the engagement. Whether you think Hailie's fiancé passed Eminem's ultimate test, and what you think the future holds for this high-profile couple. Make sure to like this video if you're loving this behind-the-scenes scoop. Subscribe for more exclusive, sensational celebrity stories. And hit that notification bell so you never miss the next jaw-dropping update. This story isn't over, and you'll want to be here when the next twist drops.